I have a threatening on myself that I touch myself in the genitals and my face cries and it doesn't know why, and I don't really feel the disturbance as to why, but I just stop because I don't want to cry in my face. Somebody sprayed pepper spray and didn't get out. I don't have a threat that way. It wasn't me. Well, I listened to some music and I'm done with that now. I wanted to make a dreamsicle, but again, I do not have a proper vessel for that. I did the best I could to clean out a pasta sauce jar, um, but the label comes off and it's not a clean peel off of the label leaving a smooth glass surface. It leaves tacky paper back behind, like white stuck on paper. So I can't scrub that off because it's taking too much water to get the glass clean. Even though it's a glass and I should use it because it's better than nothing until I just don't afford it. It's not better than the single serving size containers that these come in, and I can just drink out of here. It's not a dreamsicle, but it's the best I can do. And I want to add, I poured some chocolate milk into the make it a dreamsicle earlier this evening. In the evening, I know it's the middle of the night right now. Um, and the milk, I drank the whole thing, and the milk was turned, and I drank it anyway. So now I'm having a dreamsicle in separate parts where I can taste the milk by itself. And if I don't like it immediately, all I lose is the milk. It's not like I poured the milk and the soda together and I had to drink it because the soda was delicious, but the milk was like turned, spoiled. But the smell, it's milk that can be stored on a shelf, and it has a longer shelf life than if it was refrigerated only milk. And this it does from time to time spoil, and I need to throw some out. But it starts with one at a time, throwing one out at a time, not like throw out the whole gallon. So the delivery of food here. So somebody gave me food that has these problems I've just described. And then you won't give me the food for that reason. You won't give me the food or anything I ask for on a shopping list or anything you would offer additionally to a shopping list, um, that you will just give it to me because I am myself. I alive the food supply with that I alive, all of alive. everywhere, ever, I alive. And I light it up. And you won't give me anything for that. You wouldn't give me anything for that. If you got a $20 bill, you would give change and a receipt. If I tell you I alive, you won't give me anything for that. You won't even give me a receipt that says 0 and say that I don't owe you any money. And then what? Then you say you don't want me to carry anything out and you won't leave. Will you owe that you call the police and make a report? Exactly that statement. I don't owe you any money and you don't want to let me carry anything out and you won't leave. You have to say those 3 things to the police. You have to do that to start it moving. Because you're mentally wrong just standing there without making the report. If the police leave you just standing there, they are illegal. Somebody's going to die. But if you just stand there, you're really telling God that you don't believe in all of it. And why are you even there? Because you're threatening to call the police and you didn't call. You're always if you're a checker or a manager or some kind of supervision of the receipt of a store such as a supermarket, you are threatening to call the police on shoplifting. You have a phone right by the register and you're threatening to call the police about you suspect shoplifting. So why don't you call? What would it take to make you call? If I say I alive, you won't call? You should call before I say I alive, because you need that locked up for yourself. You can't just let somebody tell you I alive. You can't let me tell you that. I'm somebody to you, but I am the only one who does that. You can't let me tell you that. You have to know way in advance exactly what to do with yourself. This is vanilla. I did not make a dreamsicle with vanilla and Dr. Pepper blackberry either. They're both cold right now out of the refrigeration, and I don't have a vessel I can pour it into to make the dreamsicle, and I have to be sure the vanilla milk tastes like vanilla milk, so I can make the dreamsicle with Dr. Pepper, blackberry. I said to God no about drinking another dreamsicle with spoiled milk in there. Well, it's a poison of sorts if that's what you want to know, but I can't do that again. At first, I was so thirsty. Well, that's what's wrong with that. I was thirsty, and I drank the whole dreamsicle with the milk that was a little bit turned to me, like turned bad. And after that, the thirst was, I guess you could say, finished, quenched. Yeah, I wasn't ongoing thirsty anymore. And I thought there was something wrong with that because there was something wrong with the milk. Well, I mean, I believe in my thirst. I get it done. I'm thirsty, I drink something, and then I don't have thirst for a while. And I can use this signal and I can do that for myself. And all the mind it is to be thirsty and to go on and make more thirst. I make thirst. All you have to do is bring the food and water and beverages. Now I need sugary beverages because I'm old and a little diabetic, if you know what I mean. So otherwise, elsewhere I never really did drink beverages. I'm just doing that at the end of my life here because it's like thirsty for sugar and beverages. Like diabetic, not diagnosed as diabetic. I'm okay, but that's how I'm okay. I keep drinking the sugars. Um, so it's my money that I'm thirsty, and it's your money that you're holding on to everything all at once. You don't think that's extreme? That you have control of all of the food and beverages everywhere, let's say everywhere all over Las Vegas, Nevada, and that's in leverage that I could be anywhere in the US. I don't have to be in Las Vegas. I could be in Florida and I'd have the same problem. I could be in New York and I'd have the same problem. I'd be in California and have the same problem, would cost more. Alive because I alive ever. I'm a founder. And it's true that you don't understand how far in the wrong you are to me. You're so far in the wrong, I can't do this anymore. I can't be here anymore without you don't believe in me, as though that is going nowhere just for myself. Yes, I just had sex. It's not to sedate myself. What do you sex offenders want to sedate myself with sexual abuse and you think that's funny? Well, I just showed you a little of what it is for me to have sex. It's just elsewhere's. Well, it's against myself, but you're a sex offender. There's something about that I can't fight back with you in public. You don't understand that element because you don't make the threatening that you would ever be in prison, and I'm not there. You don't eat that in any way in your head. And you're so deranged, like you look like that. And then there's another sex offender and he looks like that. He's got a whole nother who, what, when, where, why, and how. Yeah. Other keys, if you want to say it that way. If I see sexual abuse, it's too late. If I see sex on myself when I'm alone with myself, it's still too late. But I don't need it, but I am not elsewhere's deceased. Yes, but if you're not myself, you always have the chance to make a police report and leave just because of what I said. If you don't have sexual abuse in public, you can't do that. You can't do sexual abuse in public. If sexual abuse, the question of that would be in a prison. Otherwise, what's the difference between sexual abuse and you pulling a knife on somebody and stabbing them? I'm a doctor, but not to a stab wound. I don't believe you. How am I supposed to sell that you stab me with a knife? You stab me with a penis. That I can solve by just crying my head off. I'm not going to give you that money. Never. I can't believe I can't stop the crying just because I can see it and I'll tell you when I'm done. And it doesn't stop when I'm done. You can't do sexual abuse in public because I can't stop it once I have seen it. It's like the same thing as if it's raining outside and you need to bring an umbrella. Do you always carry an umbrella with you? On sunny days, every day, every sunny day after every sunny day, do you carry an umbrella for rain purposes? You just carry it with you. You can keep it in your car, but what I mean is like in your hand. Do you have it in your hand? Do you have it on your person? This is what I think about a sex offender. You need to be in a prison because you're in dispute with the death. You can't just be in dispute with that you want to control money and pollution. You're not a soul anyway. You're a sex offender is not a soul. You're touching the money and the soul is elsewhere. Even when it happens right to myself, I'm so far from you. It's not funny you've been doing that to other people with my money. What's your question? What does somebody else think about that they are not myself? Rabbi Silberg giving a sermon to sedate the flock in front of me. You don't know how to get them out of the sanctuary and get them out of the parking lot without putting their keys in the car doors of all the cars in the parking lot. Rabbi Silberg, you're so bizarre. I'm giving a small statement here. And I could leave this video. I could get one comment on the video that's so upsetting. And Rabbi Silberg doesn't know anything about what I think about him throughout my whole life. He gave lectures or sermons, if you know what I mean, for like 15 years of myself being at his high holiday services every year. And he doesn't know God deceases right there in the sanctuary. Was he's giving sermons about current events, about the world, maybe something about how the world has, let's say, different countries or different, like Jewish people in Israel, something like that. Well, then he reads the Torah in Hebrew, and I know he doesn't speak Hebrew because his name is Francis. Francis doesn't speak Hebrew. Does he says Hebrew? Yes, he does. Oh, he says so many words all in a row. Francis, can you say 100 Hebrew words all in a row? So what do you think about deodorant and antiperspirant on sale in pharmacy area of Walmart, or go to some kind of convenience stores, or superstores, Sam's Club, wherever you can buy antiperspirant and deodorant. I'm wondering if I'm going back to Rabbi Francis Barry Silberg giving sermons, and he had a microphone that was on, okay? And I know his voice very well because I heard over the years for high holiday services, Rosh Hashanah, and Yom Kippur. And I don't know what that means. Yes, I just said it, and I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. I just heard it so many times. I heard it over 15 years, and then I remember it after that, ever after. Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur. I'm the Godhead. Yeah, I don't know what that is. It doesn't know. Celebrate, well, we don't know. Happy New Year, maybe. I don't know what that means. Happy New Year. I know what that means. Happy New Year means that we start counting the time again for if it's 2025 now, Happy New Year means January 1st, 2026, and that is 2026 year until December 31st. That's what Happy New Year means to me. Yeah, but what does Rosh Hashanah mean? No, I don't know that. Francis Barry Silberg, Rabbi, you have a stolen VOICE voice. Well, it's very smooth for the talking problem that you are. But if you go to Area 51 and have your voice amputated just because you don't speak Hebrew, but it comes out of your mouth, this you need to just turn yourself into the police because you don't speak Hebrew and you're not fair to everyone in there. They don't speak Hebrew either. So you have a stolen voice. That's because you stole it out of God. Maybe it doesn't look like money to you right there about food or, I don't know, high-speed trafficking. I don't know if he drives a car. I hear that he has a house across the parking lot from the temple, so he may never drive. He might just, appear in the temple because he's shunning from the house to the temple. I know it's illegal to say that. I'm sorry. But there's something wrong with the doors. They appear or disappear around the doors. They're really scary. Yeah. The clergy, they're not alive in there. I've been through the door myself. I'm clergy. I went through the door myself. But so did some other people, just so that I could be there, because you don't know who I am. I walked through the clergy doors with other people watching me do that. And then you don't know that there are other clergy who are not alive when they go through the same door. And I'm deceased. I walk through the door, but I'm deceased everywhere I am. And you don't know the difference between me and everybody else, not even that way, because some of the youth that I was with, people my age, they walked with me through the doors. My whole Sunday school class walked through the doors. You don't understand. You don't know how to sit elsewhere when you need to sit. I can walk through the clergy door myself. I am deceased. You walk the whole Sunday school class right through the same clergy doors as this mysterious Rabbi Silberg haunting the temple because he's not alive, comes through the clergy doors. That's illegal. And you don't know that because the whole Sunday school class all did it at the same time as me. And they all, I don't know, that's how it is in the temple pretty much for everyone. They're occupying the temple that way. They're blind in there. They don't understand who I am. No. Yeah, well, there are a lot of different debts. It would be like if you were at a bank and all the bank account numbers are all different for everybody's different name. Well, they're all different. They have different height, different weight, different color hair, different color eyes, and they all walk through the clergy doors. Yeah, well, that's strange. If you're clergy, that's strange. Yeah, they should not do that. You'll never see God if you do that. You don't know how to sit down, even just sit down in the sanctuary seating because you were already there parking a car. The car is outside of the temple, and you don't know where we're going to be walking in the temple. This you need to sit down in the seating of the sanctuary so I can walk through the clergy door. You don't have it. You don't understand. That was so long ago. You don't understand. So I would have been about age like 16 or 17. Yeah. I walked through the clergy door at age 12 and a half. That was the first time I did that. Yeah. But the Sunday school class, that was later. Well, Rabbi Silberg belongs in Area 51 for what I just described. He needs his voice removed. I don't think it's there for that reason. I just can hear it in the microphone, so I'm describing what I saw and heard. Yeah, but he is himself, and he knows his voice comes from elsewhere, that his name is Francis, and he's not a rabbi. His voice and the Hebrew don't go together. His hair and his voice don't go together. His hair is like brown and receding hairline, and his voice don't go together with that. And then the microphone doesn't go with his hair. Nope, if you don't have black hair, don't use a microphone. That's how I couldn't get away from a microphone, because nobody would leave the microphone. It was on, but I don't see a camera in the temple. That was enough to have people looking at the microphone. They're clearly this much trouble. Well, you're in the sanctuary and you're not the Godhead. I'm the Godhead. I can be in the sanctuary. What do I need one more thing in the sanctuary. I need a shower. There's a toilet and a sink, but there's no shower. I need a shower. I need Rabbi Silberg in Area 51 getting his penis amputated. And I need his voice extracted so it can be sent back to God, because it's not really his that way. It's not in prejudice with his microphone. No, that's goodbye, because the name Francis is goodbye. And then I want to see if I can just miracle appear a shower in the sanctuary near the toilet and the sink. How do I get the key? Can't I just get one? There are keys in the temple, a few of them. Can I have one of them? No, you want to give one to me. You want to keep... This rabbi had the keys to his office for some 15 years. And then the temple building was sold to UWM, and you know why? UWM has a cadaver. Yes, I found a cadaver. It's hysterical. Anatomy class, anatomy 2. Anatomy 2, and I did one, and then it was anatomy 2. I found the corpse. It's not real past a cadaver, so it was a cadaver at one point. It's a corpse in formaldehyde. It belongs in Area 51. Rabbi Silberg, you can't get that corpse to Area 51. I'm not due to find it. If I find it, I don't move it. That's too late. You keep asking me to solve all your problems with loitering, but you're supposed to have the problem so you know what's wrong with loitering. You're not supposed to say, Becky, I have a problem here. I have to go. That's what you keep doing. You keep saying, Becky, here's this problem. I have to go. And you're not I that way, even though I might be Becky to you that way. What do you don't have to go. You have to go to jail. But it's really not go at that point. You're past go. You are really due homeless because you missed the point of going anywhere. You're homeless outside, unfortunately, and that's where God might give you you're missing all the homeless there is, because how do you know what God is going to do for you or to you when you're homeless outside? Because it's human trafficking. You don't know who's out there. What if you were homeless for an hour? Do you know who walks by you in an hour? Do you know what cars go by you in an hour? Or if something stops for you? You might have that happen throughout. I've been alive for 45 years and you don't know? You don't know your homeless problems. Why do I even see the same people anymore? You should be long gone by homeless. You've been human trafficked. You have to go through human trafficking to get to the prison. If you don't know how to go into prison directly, you cannot use human trafficking to go home. You're not home. You're not myself. You can't say, I'm not going to prison. I'm a good person. I go home. You can't do that. You're not myself. You don't have good and home. You have Area 51. Freakishly evil. You're not good people. You don't have good and home. You have Area 51 and rockets launch you into outer space. Goodbye. Add in spaceship. So what's the difference? Rocket, ideally. Spaceship, that is a little bit worse. That means you don't go out into outer space alone. A spaceship, that's unknown what's really in there, right? A rocket, really, we don't know what's in there. So just say rocket, but it's also include add spaceship. Right? It's you must be out of this world. Who penis? You can't laugh off your penis. I know, because you argue. You can say no to anything and your penis is still there to yourself. Yeah, but you can't laugh so hard that your penis falls off, just in case you're wrong about your no. You need to go to Area 51 and have your who penis amputated, and you need to be launched into outer space on a rocket and spaceship, if you know what I mean. You're out of this world, who penis. You missed the boat that you could be born in Africa. If you're in America, you're in the wrong. You didn't make it to Africa yet. And you still want to talk to me about what you think over your penis has nothing to do with it. You're not going to give up your own wild mouth talking over your penis. And it's not my penis, it's your penis. The only way for me to get away from your penis is that you get launched on a rocket into outer space. That's how I get something out of you, being away from me. You're so unreasonable, who penis. You're so far out. Where are you going to go when you die? God's going to break down your leverage, but what about me? How's he going to get out from under what you did to me? Because you consume every little blasphemy. And you don't know what that does to me. I don't even see God. I don't believe I'm God deceased, and I don't see God above myself. I said something angry today. I told the God above myself goodbye. I want to eat food forever. Because of what this world did to me. 45 years of sucking the life out of me. I'm not the same anymore. Do you have an unlimited bank account? Yeah, I'm not unlimited that you can blaspheme my whole life and that I'll just recover because I am none higher than me deceased and I'm everything. I am, but I have an order. Or this is not every day and everywhere. Every part is supreme in every order. You can't make every order look like this one. If not for the order, you know what you would look like. That you don't really have formed. You're like if a candle melted the wax all the way to the bottom, and then some of it remained, and then it dried up, and it was not formed as a candle anymore, but you know that it was one. You know it was a candle, and it melted all the way down, and then it just sort of became useless remains of wax at the bottom of the wicking of the candle. And that's what you are. You don't actually have formed. I am what it is to have two eyes, a nose, and a mouth in this world, and you should not take that for granted by leaving some reckless, senseless comment about how you're going to say no to something you see and hear. Because if you don't, you will be living with some kind of consequences to yourself, and that would be, I don't know, not true to me if I didn't know about it. What do I don't know about? Do you speak for everyone? Judge Judy, don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. Is that what applies to her penis in this case?